This is the Paranormal Report. Hi, this is the Paranormal Report, the only podcast where you will get terrible dancing along with great paranormal content. Hey, Dar, how you doing?
I'm okay. Jim, how are you? Surviving?
I'm surviving and thriving. Surviving and thriving.
I like it. It.
Well, we had a great time during the live stream that we did for Halloween.
It was awesome. I don't know. I had so much fun. People probably thought I was drunk. I really wasn't. I was just having fun. I just thought it was fun.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was great. Jody Levon was there doing readings.
Great readings.
Richard Sirik came in and told a very spooky story. Of course, we had
compelling.
Our daughters, Cassandra and Natalie, otherwise known as Fred and Daphne. And we, of course, were Shaggy and Velma.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
awesome.
had a great time. And the good thing is that, hey, if you missed it, you can still check it out at my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Jim Harold. The whole 4+ hours are there. So you've got
we had
plenty
no
to keep you
intentions
busy.
of doing 4 hours.
No.
We didn't.
I did look back, though. There was one year we did almost exactly, a couple of years ago, we did exactly the same amount of time, which I did not realize.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. For Halloween?
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh.
I was actually surprised. I'm just adjusting here, so sorry I'm looking away from the camera. But anyhow, the point being that it's one of those things where you forget what you do and so forth. So we were about 4 hours and 15 minutes, and we did about the same maybe 2 years ago. I think it was something like that.
Oh, okay, cool.
So it was a lot of fun.
In a way, it gave people on the West Coast a chance to kind of join in live for a little bit. Yeah. I still have the prize wheel above my head there.
Yeah. We actually, I think it's a funny story. Maybe 6 hours before the live stream, because the live stream went live at 8, we said, boy, it would have been nice if we would have got like a mechanical prize wheel. That would have worked out, because we gave away Amazon gift cards and we were giving away T-shirts and different paraphernalia from the Mausoleum of Merch. And we said, you know what, let's just look on Amazon. And we ordered it, and say what you want about Amazon, but it showed up. It showed up about an hour before we went live.
Could not believe that it came. And then we had so much fun putting it together.
Yeah.
That's a behind the scenes story.
Yes, lots of vulgarity and cursing and 4-letter words and stuff. And that was just Dar. But
probably. No.
Yeah.
Speak for yourself.
So anyway, enough with the fun and frivolity. We need to get to the serious business of the paranormal. Yeah.
Major stories from this past week.
Yeah.
Because remember, the 29th was a big day.
Yeah, that's where Three Eye Atlas, as I understand it, was entering perihelion, where it would go behind the sun and not be as visible as it has been in the past. And it did that. But it's also doing some very interesting things. Avi Loeb, that astrophysicist from Harvard, who has been on top of this from the beginning and is kind of the I wouldn't say the lone voice, but the main voice of people saying, hey, this may not just be prosaic. This may not just be a comet. This may have design behind it. Well, Three Eye Atlas continues to do weird stuff. It has rapidly brightened, and it got bluer than the sun near perihelion, and that's exactly what you would expect it not to do. Yeah. The object's brightness is increasing at a rate far exceeding that of most Oort cloud comets. I guess that's the way you pronounce that, O-O-R-T. And its blue color is unexpected, as dust should redden the scattered sunlight. The rapid brightening and blue color are 2 of 9 anomalies that Professor Loeb associates with Three Eye Atlas. And so I guess the question is, it keeps doing things we don't expect. And, the mainstream, I don't want to say Dr. Loeb isn't mainstream, but a lot of the science community is saying, nothing to see here, and they come up with all these justifications. But it just keeps saying over and over again, it says, I'm different. Here's a question. Due to this, could it be, Dr. Loeb asked, does it employ a power source hotter than the sun?
Whoa.
Now that's mind-blowing.
Oh, gosh, that's actually scary.
Yeah, it is scary because if you think it's hotter than the sun, I mean, my gosh, how
And
does
it
that
comes
happen?
close enough to Earth.
Yeah. Now, here's another thing that it's done. Data from the Atacama Large Millimeter Array, this is also from Dr. Loeb's Medium page, indicates that 3I Atlas experienced non-gravitational acceleration near perihelion. So it accelerated not by gravity. We're not sure how it accelerated. It suggests
don't
a
either.
significant mass loss due to cometary outgassing. However, a lack of detectable gas cloud around 3I Atlas, coupled with its unprecedented brightening and blueness, raises the possibility of a technological propulsion system. Yeah. And there's a quote here. I'm going to see if I can find it. Here we go. So anyway, we know that it's going to become more visible as we get into very late November and into December. I think really December is when it will become visible. At that point, you could see it from ground-based telescopes, the James Webb Space Telescope, and so forth. Dr. Loeb says this about December. If we do not observe a massive cloud of gas around 3I Atlas in December, then the reported non-gravitational acceleration near perihelion might be regarded as a technological signature of a propulsion system. Now, we know that the mainstream scientists, they say, there are other comets that have had non-gravitational acceleration and nothing to see here. But I feel like a lot of this stuff from the mainstream scientists, other than Dr. Loeb, is a lot of like whistling past the graveyard. They're like, yeah, that's happened before. Yeah. I mean, don't you get that?
Well, yeah, what I was reading, it just like, well, it's unclear, but it's not this. Well, wait a minute. If it's unclear, how do you know it's not this? How do you know it's not, technologically made and not naturally occurring in the universe? So if it's unclear, how do you know? Why can you just come out and refute it, but not back it up with evidence?
Right. Well, the point that Dr. Loeb made is he's written something like 11 papers, 9 or 11, I can't remember, on this particular thing. And a lot of the people criticizing him have written zero.
Right.
Now, Dr. Loeb may be welcoming in a very important new member of his research team.
Oh, my goodness. Who could that be?
Kim Kardashian actually tweeted or X'd, I don't know what you call it now, the head of NASA, Secretary Duffy, and said, wait, what's the T on 3I Atlas? And Acting Administrator Sean Duffy said, great question. NASA's observations show that this is the third interstellar comet to pass through our solar system. No aliens, no threat to life here on Earth. So
how do you know?
Well,
I want to know how he knows that.
I don't know.
Even
I don't know how
you know why?
that.
Because even Avi Loeb's not saying for sure that it's aliens or what you know what I mean? He's giving his data. He's giving the evidence that he has, and then he's making his theory about why he thinks it is that way. What are you doing, dude? You're just coming out and saying, no, it's not that.
Yeah.
Well, where's your evidence? Because your evidence isn't really true, because you said, oh, well, the comet's tail has this kind of element and that element. And, Dr. Loeb has proven that, no, it had different kinds of, what was it, like nickel and
different
elements.
The composition would hint at something that was engineered. That's the idea.
Thank you.
Typically would not be natural occurring. Now, Dr. Loeb goes on to say a couple of things in response to this. First of all, he welcomes Kim Kardashian if she would like to become a member of his research team. And I'm sure that a lot of scientists would welcome Kim Kardashian for a number of reasons. I'm sure her intellect. But secondly,
hey, she's going to be a lawyer. She's studying for the board.
You know what? Actually, I take that little jab back. She's very smart. Very smart.
Well, look at what she's built.
Right.
Look at that empire. Look how much money she's.
That's right.
Somebody who's stupid can't do that.
That's right. No, you're absolutely right. She's smarter than I am for sure, because look at what she's built from, I mean, of course she had,
She had her
family
dad.
power. Yeah, that helped a lot. But there's plenty of people that have dads that don't build what she built. You know what I
No,
mean? It was
they do not.
largely. But anyway, basically Dr. Loeb said this, and I thought this was very interesting. Also on his Medium page, you really should follow his Medium page,
Yeah, it's very good.
avi-loeb.medium.com. He said Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna submitted an official letter to Duffy, the Secretary Duffy, requesting disclosure of the highest resolution images of 3I Atlas taken by NASA's HRSA high-rise camera, on board the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter a month ago on October 2nd through the 3rd, 2025. In parallel, I requested access to the data from the principal investigator of the high-rise camera team, Professor Alfred McEwen at the University of Arizona, but received no response to my email. The dissemination of scientific information should not be held hostage to the politics of the government shutdown, because now they're just claiming it's the government shutdown. I think that's just a cover. I think they've got some pictures that show some things. I'm not saying it, there's like a little green man looking out a portal. But no. I think maybe some things that maybe give more credence to Dr. Loeb's point of view and make it a little more mysterious, and they don't want that out there. That's my theory. Of course, sometimes I am guilty.
To agree.
Sometimes I am guilty. Sometimes I am guilty of wearing the old tinfoil hat.
Well, I don't know. He's just, in my opinion, he's making a very compelling argument that other scientists are not listening to. They're just automatically closed-minded and just shutting it down.
Right.
Is it? We don't know, and they don't know, and that's the whole point. Nobody knows, okay? So why is it so imperative that NASA and the rest of these organizations just completely shut him down? Why are you not? Well, I mean, what's the panic? So here's where my conspiracy mind goes. If you're not telling us or not even giving any credence to what he's saying, is it because part of what he's saying is correct and you have other information that people aren't privy to that you're hiding, so you don't want to induce panic, so you're like keeping it hush hush? That's my question. Because why can't you're a scientist. You're supposed to be open-minded as a scientist because that's your whole point. When you do an experiment, you don't know the answer to the question that you're posing. You do a theory. You have a theory. So you're going to say, I'm going to devise an experiment and it's going to test this theory, this idea that I have. And we'll see if any of the evidence or data that I receive points to, yes, that theory is correct, or no, maybe that theory is not true, right? Okay. So why are you being so close-minded towards his data? I don't get it. So you know something and you don't want it out. That's just my logical explanation. Maybe it's illogical, but that's my explanation. You know something more that the common scientist, the common person doesn't know, and you don't want it out there because you won't even entertain this.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I'm thinking. I think we're of one mind about this. And again, it may be nothing. Now, for our part, I've had Dr. Loeb on the Paranormal podcast twice over the last few years. He had a couple different books, and he came on to obviously promote the books and we talked about Oumuamua, that other interstellar object from a few years ago, and his work in general. And I just reached out yesterday on that email chain. Hopefully he'll remember us fondly. Of course, he does a ton of interviews and he's very busy now. So we'll see what happens. No guarantees, but we have reached out and hope that we can have Dr. Loeb back on the shows.
Oh, that would be so cool. So cool. I'll give you a list of questions I have for him.
Well, I was thinking maybe you could come on and we could co-interview him.
Oh, I'd have to shut up. You'd have to do something to.
No, well, yeah.
Why are my jaw quiet?
You'd have a lot of questions. I
do.
Well,
I'm always fascinated with that. And I took an astronomy course in college, and I was concerned because it is a lot of math. It's a lot of physics. But I did quite well, and I got an A, and it just was really, really interesting to me. It just kind of opened my mind to a lot of things. So I do have a lot of questions for him. But yeah.
Kim Kardashian, though, that wasn't the only interaction she had with the NASA chief. Tell me more. Tell me more.
Oh, she got herself in a lot of trouble this week. This was all over mainstream news, so you may have heard. She believes that the moon landing is a full conspiracy, that it never happened, right? So Sean Duffy on October 30th, the NASA acting administrator, tweeted her back out again and said, yes, Kim Kardashian, we've been to the moon before 6 times. And he included a clip, or accompanied a clip, because she was on the Kardashians, I guess, and she was talking about the new show she's doing, All's Fair. And I just read a headline today that it didn't do very well. But I don't know. I don't watch any of that. I'm not making any judgments. But apparently she's shown in this clip that she is discussing her doubts with her co-star Sarah Paulson. And she said she's sending Sarah Paulson 1 million articles and interviews with both Buzz Aldrin and the other one, referring to Neil Armstrong, and they're getting their glam done and whatever. And, she says that, Aldrin was asked, what was the scariest moment? This is all I'm quoting. There was no scary moment because it didn't happen. It could have been scary, but it wasn't because it didn't happen. So she feels that quote caused her to start questioning facts about the Apollo 11. So she thinks it didn't happen. Interestingly, Paulson doesn't agree or disagree with her, and she says she'll have to go into a serious deep dive. But she just feels it was all faked, and she kept going on, I guess, in this clip, and she tells the producers it's fake, and Sean Duffy's like, it's not fake and whatever. So, yeah, and she even agrees in the Kardashians episode. She goes, they're going to say I'm crazy no matter what. But and this part bothers me, but go to TikTok, see for yourself. Yeah, TikTok's the leading authority on whatever. But yeah, so she's in the news. The moon landing's fake. What do you think, Jim?
Well, I got to tell you, I believe we went to the moon. I don't think there's any question about it. But I will say this. I do think there's something fishy, and I'll explain what I think it is. First of all, and I'm having a little tech issue here, so rather than stop the recording, I'm dealing with it on the fly. But anyhow, no, it's with the way I pull the stories up and stuff. But anyway, this should be pretty easy to talk about. I actually had Bart Sibrel on the Paranormal podcast many years ago. Now, that name might not mean anything to anybody, but he was the guy who was like the foremost proponent that we did not go to the moon.
Okay.
And he decided he was going to confront Buzz Aldrin with that. So Buzz Aldrin proceeded to punch him.
Oh! Ouch. Oh my gosh.
But the point is this, is that I do absolutely believe we went to the moon, but I think there was something fishy about it, because there is a video floating out there of a press conference after they got back. And I know when the 3 astronauts, Collins, Armstrong, and Aldrin got back, they had to decontaminate for a couple of days. They were like in this, I don't know, some type of chamber or something. So anyway, when they came out and did their press conference, these guys looked like they lost their best friend. Now, probably, I'm sure they were tired and wanting to see their families and kind of like dealing with the massive nature of what happened, going to the moon and coming back, just like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. So, I mean, that's part of it maybe. But these guys look like they were just like, you would think a little bit, man, this was great. We got to see basically another world, all this fantastic stuff. And they did not seem happy. And I know back in the day, these guys were very stoic and, military and just the facts, man.
Right.
But you would expect a little more enthusiasm. Here's my theory.
Okay.
They saw something on the moon or on the way to the moon in terms of aliens or ETs or something. And they were, and obviously they couldn't say anything. So they were so gobsmacked by what happened. That's my theory. What do you think about that one?
That's interesting. Okay, so I think they went to the moon. I don't think that was faked. I think they went there. My question that always nags at me is, why did they never really go back? Like, I know there were missions following that, whatever, but like they learned everything they needed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like, why? Why have we never been back to it? Don't you want to go and see if things have changed? If something's changed, if something's different, if the composition has changed, has the universe affected? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I just don't understand why they never went back. And I'm not denying that they went, because, I mean, if you could go to the International Space Station and live there, I would think you could go on the moon. I just don't understand why they never went back. So I guess maybe I should do some more research about why NASA is saying that they never went back. I know they'll probably use some excuse like funding or some what I call BS. But so, it is BS. Anytime somebody starts throwing funding out, come on, you've got money. You just allocate it for different things.
Well, they did go back, within the Apollo program. But then after the Apollo program ended, I don't know if the last time they went to the moon was 73, 72, 73. I don't think it was 74. And I think Apollo ended. Did it end in 75 with Soyuz Apollo? Anyway, the point is that the early 70s it ended. To not go back since then is very weird to me. That is very weird.
Okay. But I'm going to show my stupidity, which, Russians ever land on the moon?
No, that was the whole thing. And that was interesting.
Why?
That was very interesting. Well, I mean, I think the excuse was there was a space race they lost.
So we just abandon it and we don't find out. Yeah,
did the U.S. The Gagarin was the first one in space for the Soviet Union. Did the United States throw up its hands and say, "Oh, we give up. They've got space.
No, we're done." Yeah. Well, that's why I didn't understand that part either. I thought I was right. I just was making sure, because I don't remember the Russians landing on the moon. So why didn't they do it?
Or any other country? Although China's probably
gone. Why haven't they gone now? Like,
and Artemis keeps getting delayed. Yeah, Artemis keeps, because the thought is that if you want to go to Mars, which I know Elon Musk is very hot on, you have to go to, going to the moon again is a natural kind of interim step, to test out technology and so forth. So,
yeah.
Oh, no. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. Now, I do believe, I had an uncle, you knew my one uncle.
Yes.
And my dad was talking to him about the moon landing. He said, they never went to the moon. And my dad said, yeah, they went to the moon. I saw it on TV. And he said, I see Mickey Mouse on the moon, on TV, but that doesn't mean he's real.
Wouldn't you just keel over if your uncle was absolutely right?
Yeah, but
if you ever found out, you don't think he's right. I don't know. I think.
What about the Earth? Is it flat? No, I'm just.
I'm sorry. That conspiracy I don't subscribe to, but.
Although I did have a flat earther on one of my shows one time.
You?
And it wasn't, I did. I did it intentionally. Now I said, look, I think it was on one of the Plus Club shows. I said, look, I don't believe in this for a minute, but I want to hear you. I want to hear your explanation.
That's true. That's good.
I do think that's something that's been lost. I mean, I remember seeing these old talk shows from the 60s and 70s, and the host, who was pretty neutral usually, maybe like just kind of a normal guy or a normal woman, what we would consider normal, just average, I guess is a better word. And they would have on somebody with an outlandish philosophy. And sometimes it was objectionable, something was. But I like that because it's like, look, we're not endorsing this. We're not platforming this. But what we're doing is we're saying, hey, if somebody has something outlandish to say, let's hear it so we know their rationale. Now, their rationale may be ridiculous, but let's hear it. And then we can be the judge. I mean, we totally kind of lost that whole thing. But anyway,
no, because we can't do that. We're not. No. It's black or white. It's not gray. You can't listen to the opposite viewpoint because, I don't know, maybe your brain will explode. Listen to everything, everybody. Just kind of get all your information, make your own decisions. Don't be spoon-fed by these people. But wasn't there point and counterpoint?
Yeah.
Wasn't that a show?
That was on 60 Minutes. That was,
I was thinking, what's
very small children.
SNL joke.
Jane, you ignorant. Yes.
No. I'm thinking Jack McLaughlin.
Oh, that was the McLaughlin. You're getting two things conflated. There was the McLaughlin goat.
I said the first time.
Wrong!
Right.
9 on a scale of metaphysical certitude. Molten Kondraki. Yeah, that's a deep cut.
I know. You guys, if you don't, you have to see the real one and then go look at the SNL skit. Was it
Dana Carvey?
Dana Carvey. Oh my God, that's so funny.
Young people have no idea what. No,
they have no clue. Go research. It's very, very funny.
Yeah, but it's only fun. I think it's only funny if you know the source material. Because,
I say you have to look up the source material. I'm sure you can find a clip.
He's got it. Yeah, the real McLaughlin group. May he rest in peace. John McLaughlin.
It was political, so just
wrong.
Whatever.
It was like a Sunday morning. I think it was syndicated or something. And I was a weird kid. Because here was my Sunday morning. I would watch Meet the Press, This Week with David Brinkley, the McLaughlin Group, and then NFL football.
What about Polka Variety?
Well, once in a while I would tune in and see what was going on.
We always watched Polka Variety.
We had a local show that was polkas. It was called Polka Varieties on WEWS, Channel 5.
Yep. I would dance in the living room with my dad sometimes with it because even though he's Italian, he loved polka. So we would polka a little bit. We watched that every week. What was the other show that was on after that?
The Gene Carroll Show.
We watched the Gene Carroll Show, too.
Which was like local talent. But the funny thing about that... So
you were getting... Go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
The guy had died. It was like the Dick Clark's New Year's Eve special. The guy had died for years. I think he was on Cleveland radio in like the 20s or something.
Oh, wow.
But he hosted that show and then he died, but they called it the Gene Carroll Show for another 15 years or however long. It was on well into the 80s, so was Polka Varieties. And that's one thing I miss are these great local shows that we used to have when we were growing up. We had the horror hosts here in Cleveland. Of course, we had the great Houlihan and Big Chuck. And then we have Big Chuck and Little John. And when I play this, not that.
Not that button. One.
This one, that's from Big Chuck and Little John. That was the laugh they would have on their little skits.
Yes, very funny.
Which somehow amazingly found itself on my soundboard here. Well, next up, we have talked in the past about simulation theory. That's been on the show. We've had Rizwan Virk, a great guest on the Paranormal Podcast, talking about it. And some researchers are saying, hey, they've mathematically disproven it. This is from unexplained-mysteries.com. I always want to say unsolvedmysteries.com. Robert Stack is implanted in my brain. God rest his soul. But researchers, according to unexplained-mysteries.com, say that researchers have mathematically disproven simulated universe theory. And this is really an idea that basically everything could be like a gigantic game of The Sims, and we're not real, and it's all some kind of programmer who's made this kind of game or this simulation, which is our world. But apparently, these folks have said, no, we figured it out. They've done a mathematical proof, and they basically said that for us to exist, it requires non-algorithmic understanding. So in other words, not based on math, I think that's basically what it's saying, because the computer and computing is based on math, non-algorithmic understanding. Maybe it's not that it's not math, but it's not an algorithm. And if it were a simulation, it would have to be an algorithm. Dr. Mir Faisal, adjunct professor with UBC Okanagan's Irving K. Barber Faculty of Science, says, we have demonstrated that it is impossible to describe all aspects of physical reality using a computational theory of quantum gravity. So it's not saying there isn't math in our universe, but you can't explain everything through mathematics that we experience. So he says, therefore, no physically complete and consistent theory of everything can be derived from computation alone. So that's interesting, because what I had said was, maybe we're not a game, maybe we're not a game of The Sims, but maybe it is all based on computation, and God is basically like the super genius master programmer. So it's not denying the existence of God. It's just saying he, she, it are just like, the smartest programmer ever. So it's interesting. I'm not totally sure that's 100% settled, but interesting stuff.
Yeah. I don't have too much to say about that.
Don't have much to say. Well, you're Catholic. You might have something to say about this next story.
Oh, yeah. So Pope Leo XIV's new chief astronomer says he would, quote, baptize an alien. Yeah. So Father Richard de Souza has spoken out on the possibility of baptizing a member of an alien civilization. So usually they said that like religion and space exploration don't usually typically come up at the same time. The mysteries of the universe are still on the Catholic Church's agenda. And he's 47. He'll be heading up the Vatican Observatory in Castel Gandolfo near Rome, and has stated he would welcome extraterrestrial visitors and acknowledges that the discovery of alien life would prove to be a challenge for both society and religion in general. So then somebody asked him, well, would you baptize an alien? And he said, yes. He quoted, theology would have to reimagine itself and take into consideration these other beings. They are all part of God's creation. They would be children of God. I believe in a benevolent creator. He's behind everything. He did say that baptizing an alien would pose logistical problems and challenges. We believe that baptism has to be in the presence. So how do we reach them, or how do they reach us? But he said, he'd be open to it because he believes everybody is created by God.
Here's a question. Biologically, could they handle water?
He said there's a whole bunch of logistical problems. Well, we don't know what they're composed of or not composed of, or
could
they breathe our air, our atmosphere?
The thing is, to me, my feeling is if you believe in a creator, who says that creator created just this world?
That's right. Right.
Just
because we don't know about all the worlds that are out there. I mean, some people say, well, that's it. Entitled to your belief.
We talked a week or two ago about that super Earth that's light years away that might be conducive to life. I mean, who's to say that there aren't other places?
There's another story we didn't put in this week's lineup, but they just discovered a black hole that's larger than they've ever seen. So, I mean, who's to say? We don't know.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, somebody who I bet knows a lot more than he's letting on is
why would that be, Jim?
Vice President J.D. Vance. We actually watched this clip. I was thumbing through X or something, and this clip came up. It was Vice President Vance talking about UAP and UFOs. And he said to the interviewer, he said, I can't allow myself to become so busy that I don't get to the bottom of this. I will get to the bottom of this. That implies he doesn't know. I don't believe it. Anyway, he said that this topic comes up often in his conversations with Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who will be featured in that new film that's coming out, Age of Disclosure. I think that's coming out, is that around the 21st or something of November, I believe, something like that. Dan Farah, the filmmaker, was recently on Real Time with Bill Maher. I'm probably going to watch that because I want to see. But Maher, in the clips I saw, did not dismiss it out of hand, which shocked me. He made some little jokes, but I thought it would totally be making fun of this guy. He was not making fun of this guy. Dan Farah, that is. And hopefully we can get him on the show. I've got to reach out to him. We got to try to get these people on, and sometimes they'll answer and sometimes they won't. We had James Fox on earlier this year, who was just on the other day with Ross Coulthart. So we get some of the big names, and we're going to keep trying to get them. We're going to keep pitching out there and try to get people on the show. But here was something interesting that Vance said. He said, I wouldn't say that I do or don't believe it. I'm a big believer that there are things out there that we can't explain. If another person sees an alien, maybe I see an angel or a demon. I think there are spiritual forces working on the physical world that a lot of us don't see or understand. I think that was a major clue. Because if you follow the UFO literature, for example, Lou Elizondo's book Imminent, which came out last year, he talks specifically about groups within the United States government and the military and so forth who believe that aliens are basically demons.
Oh, there was, what's her name? Representative Marjorie, who is that lady? Green?
The three names, yeah.
I don't know.
Taylor
whatever.
Green.
There was an article, I didn't put that in there this week either, but she came out saying that they're demons.
Yeah. So I do believe that there are people within the government who think they're demons. Now, with him saying that, I'm like, is he one of... We watched the clip, and I'm sure you can find it online. And in fact, it's probably in that link you have in the show notes to Fox News. He was hiding something. I mean, didn't you think he was hiding something the way he was talking?
Smooth politician, just like they all, they know how to use words.
He was hiding something. And the whole implication is, I have to get to the bottom of this. But the thing is I think you already know. Well,
time's a ticking, so get going, because, your time may be up soon. So I don't know.
Well, we'll see. Again, people in power and the paranormal, interesting stuff from across the pond.
Across the pond, yeah. So there's a article out, mirror.co.uk, quote, "I'm the royal family's #1 psychic. I know their secrets, and it's got me into trouble." So June Field says she's the psychic for the royal family, and has them on speed dial and texts them back and forth and offers them guidance. And I guess she's from Dundee, Scotland, and she was contacted by a royal aide prior to COVID starting in 2020. And she continues to have at least 3 regular royal clients. She will not reveal their names, but she has them on her WhatsApp and she texts them. So she goes back and forth with them. She even meets with them. She can't reveal where. And she almost got in trouble one time because she was going on television and was going to use a testimonial in regards to her royal clients in a TV video. And they're like, "Oh, no, you're not." And they really got on her, and she immediately had to bag that and say, "Oh, okay." So she's been seeing these people. She has 3 more, and she said, I'm the same with them as I am with anyone. They are people. They have questions, and there's no ego, and she just does what she can to help them. And the article goes on about how the royal family has always kind of dabbled with psychics. Prince Harry, in his memoir Spare, I guess, talked about how he used a psychic to try to reach out to his mom, Princess Diana. All kinds of stuff, I guess. Late Queen Elizabeth always believed in ghosts. They said she had some trinkets in her purse all the time, some Lucky Charms, apparently. Yeah. So I mean, it's there. I believe that. I don't know. That doesn't feel far-fetched to me. Why wouldn't they?
No.
I mean,
and the thing is that I think it boils down to it, and I think we all are guilty of this. They are people.
Yes.
They are people. At the
Same
end of
with
the day,
celebrities, anybody,
yeah. They're just people like all of us. Well, you want to talk about royalty? Let's talk about cinema royalty, and let's talk about royalty for the popularization of classical music. We're talking about 2 people: Steven Spielberg and John Williams. Of course, John Williams. Star Wars, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, the Indiana Jones movies, just Raiders of the Lost Ark, and all those sequels. Just amazing. Well, people thought he was retired back in 2022. He basically said he was going to retire following his work on Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. He's 93. But good news. Most of the people here know who follow the UFO subject that Steven Spielberg has this upcoming movie on UFOs. It's supposed to be huge. It's going to be a big deal. I think that would be one I definitely want to go to the theater for, and I don't go to the theater much. Well, apparently the legendary John Williams is going to compose the score for this film, and it will mark the 30th collaboration between the pair. 30. And their first one was in 1974 with the release of the Sugar Land Express.
Wow. They have a long-standing relationship, working relationship.
And I don't, and this is from radiotimes.com. They have a nice article about it. Now, I wouldn't want to say it's absolutely his last project, but if it is his final project in terms of a movie score, wouldn't it be so appropriate that it's with Spielberg? It gets into the space topic because he's so well known for, Star Wars and Close Encounters of the Third Kind and so forth. Just amazing.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, I look forward to that. That would be cool. Maybe I'll go to the theater with you. We'll go. Yeah,
that would be a good one. We can do a review. We'll put a review. Oh,
that would be fun.
People are saying it'll be great. It'll be great. People are saying.
My review. Popcorn was overpriced. The soda was ridiculous. You could buy 2 weeks worth of soda for the price.
Well, what we did was we put, and it's nothing like you see these crazy elaborate setups people have, and we don't have anything like that. But we put a Costco TV up in our basement, and we have a little popcorn machine, and we got our own little theater. You know
what I did to make it look a little more, and it was so cheap. I got them from Amazon. I bought red velvet curtains, and there's no windows on either side of the TV, but I pretended like the walls were lined with velvet curtains. So I put up, you put up 2 curtain rods, and then I put the red velvet to make it look like it's a movie theater.
We kind of did the Walmart version of a movie theater. But,
completely.
Yeah.
Oh, what we would love, those frames that light up and you put the posters in.
So expensive. Oh my God. How much are one of those? Like $500 a piece?
It's somewhere, I think, in that range. I don't know. For 4 posters, I know it was going to be well over $2,000. I'm like, that's not happening.
That ain't happening.
So, no,
but it's
happen.
a lot. But the thing is I'll be honest with you. There's nothing in the theaters these days. I just saw somebody else post about this. There's nothing really worthy of going to a theater for. Not much.
No. Not really. I mean, our opinion. People like to go as a night out for entertainment, whatever. I don't know. We just go down the basement.
A lot of people like to stay at home. Maybe they've got collections, different kinds of collections. Maybe they collect dolls. But
gosh.
You have a story about a doll.
This is spooky. Jim, do you know Fiona Dodwell? Do you know her?
Yeah, I interviewed her not that long ago. Absolutely.
Okay, well, this is about her creepy doll book. She's tormented by a haunted doll, and it swears at her and calls her a terrifying name. I shouldn't laugh. The thing is creepy. So I will put the link up so you can take a look at him. So she was writing this book about haunted dolls, and she wanted to experience the phenomena firsthand. So she decided to adopt and this is what makes it worse. Creepy clown doll. It's a clown called, his name is Knock Knock Harry. The thing is terrifying. I usually clowns this clown, I saw a picture, gave me heebie-jeebies. I don't like him. And he's not coming in here. So anyway, So she said she had nothing to lose. Something might happen. Something might not happen. So she trusted these sisters that she bought it from, and she adopted the clown, and she thought the little nickname Knock Knock Harry was so sweet. And she said no, because it really did open up her eyes that this stuff happens. So she just, she doesn't think she's like a psychic or a medium. She's the author of A Cursed Collection of Haunted Dolls, right? But she said he made himself at home, and she had this intense feeling that she was being watched. And go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I said, interestingly enough, I interviewed her about that book, and we had a lot of technical problems, and we have to re-record. So we're in the in the process of trying to do that, because the idea was to get that up. The idea was to get that up before Halloween.
I'm telling you, listen. She had to use she decided to communicate. She wanted to communicate with it. So she got a spirit box. And so she was trying, she took the opportunity to formally introduce herself and hoping that he would introduce, himself. And she asked him to confirm his name. And on the spirit box, she heard, knock, 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 Harry, hi. And she said it sounded really clear. So she started feeling a little wary. And then, she started asking it a series of questions and he wouldn't answer her. And so she just decided to ask, is there anything that you want to share? And he got very vocal and he insulted her and called her a beach.
Whoa, that's not very nice,
and
Harry.
He was angry, and it left her feeling unnerved. And so she decided to skip the spirit box, and she started using sensor light balls. And she said, if he wanted to communicate, to light up the ball. She said they were lighting up all the time. She couldn't sleep at night. His energy, she'd hear knocking because, knock, knock, Harry. She would hear knocking from downstairs as she was laying in bed at night. But she said he's been much better behaved. And she hasn't had anything else come through like that. But you do feel like you're being watched. And she's moved him to different positions in the house. And then she has that really kind of heavy feeling. And she hears the voice saying, move shelf, move table. So he's like asking where he wants to be positioned in the house.
Oh, God.
No, thank you. That's not coming in our house. Okay.
Well,
bye-bye.
We're trying
bye-bye,
to reach
knock,
out.
Harry.
Maddie's trying to get her back and see if we can. I
Good.
felt badly, and I was going to try to use it. It's like, this is a lot of choppiness and stuff. It's not going to be pleasant for the viewers. And, I want her to get her information out in the best light. So,
this book seems really interesting. She interviews other people.
Yep, it is.
Their haunted doll experiences and stuff.
It is.
That's interesting to me that it didn't work out.
Yeah. Well, we're going to keep trying.
Yes, good.
So, thunderous sounds echoing around Lake Mead. Lake Mead, I think it straddles between Nevada and Arizona. And apparently 50 residents and campers contacted the police. Contacted?
I like that.
Contacted
Commentate?
the police. Yes,
sorry.
the police. I hate that. Commentate.
Sorry,
You're
guys.
commenting.
I know you all. You're commenting. You're not commentating. It's okay. Sorry. That's a pet peeve. Sorry.
Campers.
Go ahead.
And I don't know if it's a real word or not, but
I think it is. I looked it up and I'm like, it's not, that's newly
Allow
minted.
me to commentate. Anyway, campers contacted the police after hearing sounds that have been described as a deep metallic groaning that made the ground tremble. And people are speculating what it may or may not be. He said there was some footage that was out there by the Instagram account Scary Encounter and on Facebook by the account Conspiracy Journal. A woman is heard saying that she was woken up by loud sounds that hammered through the Redstone picnic area between Lake Mead and Las Vegas. Now, here, I love this quote. They said that maybe the source of the sound, the authorities are saying, was the Kern River gas pipeline that runs through near where the sound was heard, and that the sound was gas releasing. Now, believe you me, I've heard the sound of gas releasing.
Oh, I've heard it too.
And this does not sound like
You know when I don't like hearing that sound is at night.
Okay, well, let's not get into that.
Okay.
This sounds like
let's move on.
I think we're disclosing a little too much here. But nevertheless.
But I'm bump. Sorry. Hit it. There we go.
So anyway, the question is, in this article they asked, this is Newsweek, they said, what could it be? What could generate a tone so deep and unnatural that it rattled windows and spooked wildlife for miles? A geological shift, a classified test, or something far less explainable, unseen presence stirring below the Mojave Sands? If you heard it, you know that wasn't thunder. So, and actually that was from the account Conspiracy Journal that we talked about before. They're just quoting it, the one on Facebook. But the point is that, I mean, my money's on a classified test. You're in the Southwestern United States.
100 miles from Area 51.
Yeah, lots of sonic booms, lots of crazy.
They asked Kern Gas Company, whatever, if they released the gas, and they said, no, we didn't release any gas.
That wasn't me. That wasn't me. That was him.
No, I didn't do it.
That wasn't me. Hey.
You smelt it. You dealt it. No, I'm sorry.
Not me. Yeah. Not me. I didn't have any tacos for lunch.
There you go. So... oh, goodness gracious. There we go. Well, should we end it on a funny... I included this article. It's from Business Insider. It's creepy urban legends from every U.S. state in the nation. I like how they just call it urban legends because I think some of that stuff was real. Yeah. Well, so like New Jersey's the Jersey Devil,
right.
But it's this is a really neat thing because it goes through every state and talks about like, I guess, urban legends. I don't know. It depends on what you believe, but, some of them were rather interesting. I was going to just highlight a couple. The one that, I thought Delaware was funny. It was the ghost of Mr. Chew.
Tell us about the ghost of Mr. Chew.
Yeah, the ghost of Samuel Chew. He was the Chief Justice of the Delaware Supreme Court in 1741. And when he was alive, he didn't get any respect. They all made fun of his name.
I get no respect.
Yeah, well, work on the Rodney. Anyway, as he would walk by, they would mimic sneezes. Chew! Get it?
Oh, brother.
So he got ticked off apparently, and after his death, he's sitting under a tree, and he wanders the courthouse, and he creeps people out, and he pulls on men's coattails, and he gives women a cold, icy feeling. Yeah, so that's Mr. Chew.
What about Ohio? Is Ohio?
Ohio is, yes. But first, the urban legend of Illinois with Homie the Clown. Do you remember this story?
Homie, don't play that.
Well, this was in the 90s. There was a rumor going around elementary schools. There was a creepy man dressed as Homie the Clown from Living Color.
Yeah.
Driving around in a white van trying to lure kids with candy and money. And, some say he was a kidnapper, but in all the variations, it left a mark on kids in Chicago in the 90s.
That's scary. It
is scary.
Well, I mean, Chicago has, it was Gary, Indiana was John Wayne Gacy, and he was dressed up like a clown. He did.
With the clown thing.
Yeah.
I have to, before I get to Ohio, I have to mention Louisiana. It's a thing close to your dad's heart. The Grunch.
Oh, Lord.
Apparently, Grunch Road is an old dirt road that leads deep into the woods to a dead end. And it was like a favorite place for teenagers to do whatever they do until they learned about the Grunch. And it was rumored to be a group of deformed, half-human, half-monsters that resulted from years of isolation in the Louisiana bayous.
Huh.
So, Grunch, Jim.
Yeah, well, what happened is my dad and my uncle used to, when they lived in West Virginia and when they retired, they used to put up all these Christmas decorations. It was kind of like Christmas threw up. I mean, it wasn't real themed or anything, but they had this tall Grinch figure. And I would say, oh, you put up your Grinch. And he would always he would never call it the Grinch. He would call it the Grunch. And every time I would talk to him, I would get so angry because I'm like, it's a Grinch. Dad, it's a Grinch. Yeah, put that Grunch up again.
There you go. So there you go.
So maybe he got it from that. I don't know.
Maybe, who knows? Yeah. Ohio, it's the Werewolf of Defiance. Have you heard about that?
I thought it would be Lemonheads.
No, it's the Werewolf of Defiance. Defiance, Ohio, that, people in 1972 were being terrorized by a werewolf. By the train tracks. Women said it would try to get into their houses by rattling the doorknobs. Huh. Huge, hairy, dressed in rags. But after that summer ended, it disappeared, never heard from again. I saw a YouTube video. I was going to see if we could get maybe those guys on. They're talking about the Werewolf of Defiance. So
the Werewolf of Defiance.
Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So it's a cool article, guys. I'll put it up and you could see what's popular in your state as a urban legend.
There you go. There you go.
There you go.
Well, it looks like we've done it again. The one thing we didn't do is plug anything, so we're going to do that now. But stay tuned.
Everyone tunes off.
Yeah, no. Stay on, because I got to tell you about a couple things. First of all, our virtual campfire group at virtualcampfiregroup.com. That's a great place. We have over 3,000 members there. It's absolutely free. And that's where you can share your spooky stories. We have a lot of people sharing spooky stories over there. It's kind of like Reddit without the nonsense in terms of spooky stories. And then you can share your thoughts on the shows. Dar puts up polls. Maddie puts up polls. Maddie puts on posts asking provocative paranormal questions. I chime in and update everybody on the shows. It's really our paranormal community, virtualcampfiregroup.com, virtualcampfiregroup.com. People are loving it. They're saying it's great. It's the best paranormal community ever. None greater, people are saying.
Thank you to whoever posted on there telling him that was great to do, because now he's just never going to stop doing it.
People are saying it's great.
I salute you.
Great. I've got to do it. I have no choice.
Thank you.
Very good. Very well done. Anyway, the point being that we hope that you join us over at virtualcampfiregroup.com. And then the other thing, of course, our merch. And you're hard at work getting together some holiday merch and different designs and things. I know you've been working hard on that.
Yeah. So I did, Jim, you and I are fluffy. I call us fluffy. Well, it's hard sometimes to find those sizes. So we do have a long sleeve shirt that's Bella and canvas. Unfortunately, it only goes up to 2XL, but I just posted another one yesterday, a Gildan brand, which is still just as good, little cheaper. Will go up to 5XL. So I have posted that in there for those of us that are fluffy and would like a bigger size. That's in the shop. I've got some Christmas holiday stuff coming and a craft that I am working on again. Oh my gosh, you guys are like, ah. No, that I'm hoping to have up by next week. So, and stay tuned for some never before done things in the merch shop by the end of the month. What comes at the end of the month? Like after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, what could that be? We'll have to stay tuned for that.
I don't know.
Also, stay tuned. You may remember, if you watch or listen to the other shows, that we used to do an ornament contest every year. And we stopped doing that. We went to cards for a couple of years, which was nice. It was fun. People had great cards. But we're going back to the ornament contest, and I got to get the official announcement out this week. It's November 5th, so by the end of the week, we'll have that out. So people have, something like a little over a month. We'll probably wrap up the contest about mid-December. So this would give you a few weeks to get your submissions made and send it in. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun. We have some other ideas we're not going to talk about right now, but we have some other ideas
related to that.
Things, related to that. So stay tuned for that. Those rules and regulations should be out by the 7th of November and certainly mentioned in the virtual campfire and other places that you find us. So lots of exciting things coming. And the thing is that people get depressed because Halloween's over, but Halloween's never over here at the Spooky Studio. And we've got plenty of stuff going, and we're going to just keep on rolling. And thanks for all your support in the month of October. One last thing. Campfire hit number 80 on the Spotify charts of all podcasts, which is an all-time high for us. So thanks to Spotify for that. Thanks to you for your support and helping boost those numbers. Keep telling your friends, especially your friends who love spooky stuff and are looking for something now. Campfire is still there. The Paranormal Podcast is still there. And, of course, this show is here as well. Well, Dar, we did it again. We made it through another edition of the Paranormal Report.
Yep. Everybody have a wonderful week. Stay safe. And Jim?
Stay spooky. Oh, yeah. We're dancing.
Bye, guys.
Stay spooky. Bye-bye.
I have to dance at the end, too.